Have you ever pondered why something as personal and intimate as sex would still matter after your 60s, 70s, or even 80s? After all, isn't sex supposed to fade naturally with age, becoming a distant memory like high school dances or summer flings? Not quite. What if I told you that stepping away from physical intimacy might silently rob you of your health, your happiness, and even your years? As a doctor who's worked closely with aging patients for decades, I can assure you, sex is not a luxury in your golden years. It's a lifeline. You may not notice it at first. Maybe you feel a little more sluggish in the morning. Maybe your joints are stiffer, your heart beats a little faster after climbing the stairs, or your memory feels just a little foggier. And then come the emotional changes. You begin to feel more alone, less connected, perhaps even a bit invisible. That's not just aging, that could be the subtle impact of a life lacking physical intimacy. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Now, let's begin, because the truth is, the longer you go without intimacy, the more your entire body pays the price. 1. Your heart health suffers. It might surprise you to learn that your heart, not just your emotions, but your actual physical heart, relies on more than diet and medication to stay strong as you age. Regular sexual activity, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, acts like a gentle cardio workout. It increases blood circulation, lowers blood pressure, and helps maintain the elasticity of your arteries. In fact, studies show that seniors who remain sexually active tend to have fewer heart-related complications. It's not about intensity, it's not about frequency, it's about consistency and connection. When intimacy fades, the body loses one of its most natural ways to stay vital. Without this form of activity, the heart becomes more susceptible to stress, inflammation, and long-term disease. Imagine skipping your daily walk or ignoring your medication. Letting go of sexual health can carry just as serious a consequence. Many seniors don't realize that the heart benefits from closeness, from touch, from physical affection, just as much as it does from exercise or rest. The message is simple. Nurturing intimacy is nurturing your heart. But the heart isn't the only part of your body that suffers. What if I told you that giving up sex could also accelerate physical decline in ways you never expected? 2. Muscles and joints lose vitality. When we think about staying strong in old age, most people picture gym workouts, daily walks, or balance exercises. But what if one of the most overlooked ways to maintain muscle tone and joint flexibility was regular sexual activity? Intimacy engages multiple muscle groups, from your core and glutes to your legs, arms, and pelvic floor. It encourages natural movement, flexibility, and even helps improve coordination. For older adults, this kind of movement isn't just enjoyable, it's powerful. Without it, muscles begin to weaken more quickly, joints grow stiff, mobility declines slowly, then suddenly. And here's what most people miss. Physical decline doesn't always begin with a fall or injury. Sometimes it starts in silence, when the body no longer receives the stimulation it once did. Over time, your strength diminishes, your confidence follows. You stop reaching, stretching, moving. The kind of confidence that comes from feeling strong and capable often starts in the body. And when that disappears, so does your drive to keep going. Losing intimacy can lead to a more sedentary life. And once that cycle begins, breaking it becomes harder than most people expect. But what if the next thing to go isn't your strength, but your clarity of mind? 3. Your brain takes a hit. Most people never think of sex as a brain health booster, but they should, because the connection is real and especially important as we age. During intimacy, your brain releases a powerful blend of chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. These aren't just feel-good hormones. They play critical roles in enhancing memory, improving mood, reducing stress, and supporting overall cognitive function. For seniors, staying mentally sharp becomes more essential than ever, and physical connection is one of nature's most reliable ways to support it. When sexual activity fades, the brain loses a key source of neurological stimulation. Over time, this can lead to increased anxiety, depression, and even early cognitive decline. You may find yourself forgetting more names, misplacing things, or feeling mentally sluggish. And yet, few connect those signs to a lack of intimacy. Emotional and physical closeness keep neural pathways active. They help your brain remain responsive, engaged, and resilient. Like a muscle, your brain needs stimulation to stay strong, and sexual connection, in all its forms, is one of the most natural and effective ways to provide it. Neglecting this part of your life doesn't just affect your body, it robs your mind of the spark that makes you feel fully alive. But the impact doesn't stop there, because after the brain, the next casualty of lost intimacy is something far more emotional. 4. Emotional intimacy begins to fade. As we grow older, emotional connection becomes even more essential. But without physical intimacy, that bond can quietly weaken. Sex is not just a physical act. It's a deep expression of trust, affection, and vulnerability. When that part of a relationship disappears, couples often start to feel more like roommates than romantic partners. Conversations become routine, affection becomes rare, and the spark, the one that once made you feel seen, wanted, and deeply loved, starts to dim. Many seniors don't even realize how much they miss that closeness until the distance has already taken root. And once it does, it becomes harder to reach across. Worse still, loneliness begins to creep in, even inside committed relationships. And loneliness, as countless studies show, is more than a feeling. It increases the risk of depression, elevates blood pressure, and weakens the immune system. Emotional intimacy thrives on little things: a touch, a lingering glance, a hand on the shoulder. Sex is one of the most powerful ways to keep that emotional current alive. Letting it fade doesn't just remove passion, it removes one of the strongest emotional anchors in your relationship. But what if reviving intimacy didn't just bring you closer emotionally, but also helped you sleep better, deeper, and more peacefully than you have in years? 5. Sleep becomes a struggle. As we age, getting a good night's sleep often becomes more difficult, but few people realize just how closely sleep and sexual activity are connected. After sexual release, your body naturally produces prolactin, a hormone that promotes deep relaxation and helps you fall asleep. At the same time, oxytocin, known as the cuddle hormone, is released. It reduces stress and eases anxiety, two of the biggest causes of restless nights for older adults. Many seniors turn to medication to treat sleep problems, but often the solution is far more natural and far more enjoyable. When physical intimacy disappears, these calming chemical reactions disappear with it. The result? A body that's tense and a mind that won't quiet down. If you find yourself tossing and turning, waking up exhausted, or struggling to stay asleep, it could be more than aging. It might be the absence of connection and closeness. And here's what most people miss. Restorative sleep doesn't just affect your rest. It supports your mood, your memory, your energy, and your long-term health. In other words, letting go of sexual intimacy can quietly disrupt far more than your bedtime routine. But the impact goes even deeper, because when intimacy fades, so does something far more personal, your sense of self. 6. Self-esteem and confidence decline. Aging changes how we see ourselves, but nothing chips away at confidence more quietly than the slow disappearance of physical intimacy. When you're no longer touched, no longer desired, no longer engaged in sexual connection, it's easy to start feeling invisible. Over time, many seniors begin to believe their best years are behind them. That feeling attractive, wanted, or sexually alive is something only the young get to enjoy. But that belief is a lie. Sexual intimacy sends powerful signals to your brain and heart. It reminds you, you still matter. You're still vibrant, still capable of giving and receiving love. Without it, self-doubt creeps in. You may avoid mirrors, withdraw from your partner, or stop showing affection, not because you don't care, but because you no longer feel desirable. Even occasional gentle intimacy can reignite that lost spark. It reminds you, you're still here, still beautiful, still capable of deep connection. And when that confidence returns, it doesn't just stay in the bedroom, it reshapes how you walk, how you smile, how you look at yourself in the mirror. But while confidence shapes how you feel, intimacy also shapes how your body defends itself. What happens next might surprise you. 7. Your immune system weakens. Most people think of hand washing, vitamins, and sleep when it comes to protecting their health, but few realize that regular sexual activity, even gentle and infrequent, can quietly boost your immune system, especially as you age. Here's how it works. During intimacy, your body produces higher levels of immunoglobulin A, a crucial antibody that helps defend against colds, viruses, and respiratory infections. It also reduces inflammation, supports healthy hormone balance, and strengthens your overall cellular resilience. Now imagine this. As intimacy disappears, so do these natural defenses. Your body becomes slower to respond. You may catch more colds, take longer to recover, or feel worn down without understanding why. And here's the truth. This decline doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks up, one quiet year at a time, until suddenly you're more vulnerable than you thought. Restoring a healthy sex life, whether with a partner or through mindful self-connection, can reignite those internal systems. It's one of the most enjoyable, natural forms of preventive medicine your body will ever know. But if you think the impact stops there, think again. Because the next change doesn't strike your body, it strikes your mind. And if you ignore it, the consequences can ripple through every corner of your life. 8. Stress and anxiety increase. As we age, life doesn't always get easier. In fact, for many, it becomes more complicated. Health issues, financial concerns, loss, loneliness, they all build. And what you may not realize is that intimacy, real physical connection, is one of your body's most powerful tools to manage that stress. During sex, your body releases a symphony of healing hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These chemicals soothe your nervous system, reduce anxiety, ease tension, and promote emotional stability. They're nature's way of restoring peace. But when intimacy disappears, so does that natural release. And what fills the gap? Restlessness, irritability, racing thoughts, tight muscles, a lingering sense that something's off. But you can't name it. Over time, this unrelieved stress builds. Your sleep suffers, your patience thins. Small worries feel heavier than they should. And without that regular outlet, anxiety can show up in your body. Headaches, chest tightness, gut issues, all of it quietly whispering that your system is overwhelmed. But the solution isn't just therapy or pills. Sometimes it's touch, closeness, the return of something your body and heart have been missing. Because the absence of intimacy doesn't just create distance, it removes the very thing that helps you stay resilient. And if you think that sounds serious, just wait. Because what we're about to explore next is something even more fragile. 9. Relationships become more fragile. It doesn't happen all at once. At first, it's subtle. Less hand-holding, fewer spontaneous kisses, a little more silence between goodnights. Then weeks go by, maybe months, and before you realize it, the connection you once shared starts to feel distant. You still care, you still love each other, but the warmth, the spark, the playfulness, it fades. Why? Because physical intimacy isn't just about desire. It's a language, a way of saying, I see you, I want you, I still choose you. Without that expression, even the strongest couples can begin to feel like roommates. Not out of lack of love, but from lack of expression. And over time, that emotional distance becomes harder to bridge. I've seen couples married for 40 years sit across from each other, not knowing how to start a conversation anymore. Because somewhere along the way, the little touches stopped. The closeness faded, and routine took over. But here's the truth. Intimacy isn't about youth. It's about intention. It's about keeping love alive through effort, vulnerability, and touch. When you let that go, you don't just risk physical disconnection. You reshape your entire relationship dynamic. But even deeper still, there's one more truth you need to hear. Because when intimacy fades, your body begins to forget. Not just emotionally, but physically. And that can change everything. 10. The body forgets. Use it or lose it. It's not something we like to admit, but the body follows patterns. And when we stop using certain functions, they slowly begin to fade. Just like a muscle weakens when you stop exercising, your body's sexual responses can grow quiet when neglected. For men, this might show up as longer arousal times, weaker erections, or difficulty maintaining them at all. For women, it can mean increased dryness, tension, or a loss of natural elasticity. And the worst part? It happens slowly. So slowly, in fact, you may not realize what's missing until it feels too late to get it back. Discomfort leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to decline. And soon, even the idea of intimacy feels overwhelming. But here's the truth. Your body doesn't want to shut down. It wants to remember. It wants to stay alive, to stay connected. Even gentle forms of touch, of closeness, can help preserve sensitivity, stimulate blood flow, and maintain hormonal balance. Don't let time convince you that this part of you is gone, because once you stop, it takes much more to return. But even if your body adapts, there's something even more powerful that shapes your experience, and that is your mindset. What you can do, starting today. No matter your age or how long it's been, reclaiming intimacy is absolutely possible. And it can begin right now. The first step? Communication. Talk to your partner. Share how you feel, what you've missed, what you're hoping to rebuild. Honesty and vulnerability aren't signs of weakness. They're the foundations of real connection. If physical challenges are part of the story, don't suffer in silence. Speak with your doctor. There are solutions. Simple, safe, and often more effective than you've been led to believe. Start small. Touch, cuddling, hand-holding. These little acts of affection create space for deeper closeness. And if you're single, don't underestimate the power of self-connection. Getting to know your own needs, your own comfort, can be the first step to staying in tune with who you are. Stay open, stay curious, try new things. Let go of the pressure to make it perfect. You haven't aged out of desire. You've just been waiting for the right moment to rediscover it. That moment is now. The truth about aging and intimacy. Aging does not mean the end of intimacy. It means the beginning of something deeper, more meaningful, more honest, because the loss of physical closeness, it doesn't just affect what happens in the bedroom. It impacts your heart, your brain, your relationships, your health, and your sense of being fully alive. But here's what's true. It's never too late. Never too late to reclaim this part of yourself, to remember you are still worthy of love, of desire, of connection, of pleasure. Let go of the outdated belief that intimacy is only for the young, because you, right now, still have so much to give, so much to receive. The path forward isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing who you are today and refusing to let fear, shame, or assumptions decide how fully you get to live. Reconnect, reignite, rediscover. Because the most fulfilling years of your life aren't behind you. They're waiting to be created with intention and courage. If you've been feeling like something is missing, now is the moment to reach for more. Not just more years, but more joy, more closeness, more life. You deserve nothing less. These truths aren't meant to shame. They're meant to inspire, to help you live more fully, more authentically, more connected to yourself, to those you love, and to the beautiful, ever-changing body that carries you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey of truth, growth, and rediscovery. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment with 1. If not, leave a 0 and tell us how we can do better. Your feedback matters, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content designed specifically for men and women who believe aging is not the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary. Thank you for watching. And here's to living life on your own terms.